Welcome, everyone, to episode 73 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, are spiders making video games now?
It's their revenge, Chris. They're on to us.
Especially after going and killing them. You can kill it with fire, I guess so. This is how they get back at us. This episode, we're going to be talking about Greedfall by spiders.
Just spiders. That's
Just
who did
spiders. It. Spiders did it. This game came out back in September of 2019. I played this on the PC, and it was 21.1 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Saving that space on the Xbox, 11.6.
Spiders so efficient. Efficient developers.
It's
they
all
know
that
how to
web.
use all the...
Yep. It's all those limbs.
I think when I was playing this game on Twitch, they were a cowboy from Game Corp mentioned that they're great web developers. So yeah,
no, boo,
yeah. Boo, hiss that man. I did boo him then. Anyway, what kind of game is this?
Third-person action RPG.
Yeah, right on the nose. That's what I did too. That's
Yay,
what I wrote. Exactly.
Look at that. Literally the same characters in the same order.
Yes, we did. So that was easy.
My capitalization's a little different than yours.
Fair. That's fair. But that's you're writing, I'm typing.
Yeah.
So
true.
A little different. But let's talk about that game loop. What you got?
Ours are pretty similar here too. Not quite the same, but I wrote, explore the world and make choices to advance the plot and improve your character.
I did totally miss that. And that's probably better than what I have. I have progressed through a campaign while leveling up your character. Because it is an RPG. You are leveling up. You're getting stats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's a little different, but we can get into that.
Yeah.
Shall we?
We shall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to start with some likes? Want to go first?
Sure. I liked that. Well, first off, I liked the variety of difficulty levels.
Yes, that was cool.
Which was interesting because I did play it on normal, but there's an easy mode where they say like you basically can't die. It's just so you can progress through the story, which is cool. And even more so because at least from the parts that I played, the story, or at least the stuff that you can do in this world, was pretty interesting. And then the other cool part I liked was, I think we both talked about it, so this is the way that you customize your character.
Oh man, yeah.
The way that they presented that was really cool. Essentially, when you start the game, there is someone painting you, and they show a face initially, but then you can go and customize it however you want. Skin tone and stuff like that. I thought that the customization was varied enough, but like it could have added a little bit more, but it was varied enough. Like you got skin tone, face structure, stuff like that. But you didn't go crazy. They didn't go too crazy with all that, which I guess was like better. I don't know how long you stayed on there.
It was. Thank goodness that it was good enough that I could make an approximation of Tom that I liked good enough to keep moving.
Right. Okay.
I didn't have to like tweak their nostril size and their eyebrow spacing.
Yeah.
Right. I need enough options that I can make a face that I like.
Yeah.
And that I can look at all of them.
That's true.
I like to be able to look at all of them and pick the ones I like best. If you have 40,000 options, that's a problem for me because I need to look at all 40,000.
Get every combination, map it out. Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Tom? What are some things that you liked?
So leaning into that portrait painting thing, which I loved.
Hmm.
Uh, they did a really good job, just in general, of incorporating the gameplay into the plot of the
Hmm.
game. Right, so it's like
Yes.
the how you play the game, like, so it starts with you painting the portrait to pick out how your character looks, and then very quickly you are in a scenario where it's teaching you how to fight, but the way
Hmm.
that it's presented as how you're being taught how to fight is that a character is like checking on your skill. He's like,
Yeah.
he throws you a practice sword basically and says, all right, let's brush up on your skills. I want to make sure you're up to snuff before we go on this thing.
Right.
and
Right.
then and then you're learning how to do combat. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, it did a really good job of integrating that into the story, where it was like there's a perfectly good story reason for why this is happening.
Right. Right. And which characters did you what class or whatever did you pick? I picked the magic type because
Okay,
I rarely do that. So
I went melee fighter.
warrior. Okay. Yeah. That's normally what I probably would have picked, but I was like, you know what, let me see what this is all about.
I
Um
I did think it was pretty. I didn't get enough skill points to do it, but
mhm.
you kind of touched on or mentioned briefly that there's some depth here. Once you get enough skill points, you could be all the classes at the same time. You don't have to.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, okay. Interesting. You're not locked into a particular
no,
style.
so
Interesting.
so
Oh, that's right.
they
Yeah.
have the three options, right? The three
Hmm.
character classes, and you can unlock as a secondary class, right? With 2 points, you could
Hmm.
then just open up that other tree, and then
Right.
I can be a swordsman who also does magic.
So I guess kind of like Borderlands in a way, right? Because you could kind of mix and match there too, if I recall.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though. I definitely second what you said about the tutorial. I thought it was kind of cool also because of the way the setting, that particular setting that you can do magic.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know. I mean, you don't normally see that kind of pirate or like the olden times grungy England people
Yeah.
thing with magic. So it's like it was kind of cool that they mixed that in there. Um, and I liked this is one thing I really enjoyed was that you can approach missions in different ways. Like you actually have choices
Yeah.
with that, which like very obviously very early on when you'll see in the gameplay, um, is that there's a um, there's like a place where like actually no there's a couple of ones where there's one where you had to go up to this merchant and try to either intimidate him or bribe him. And I tried to intimidate him, or no, I was trying to be charismatic with him, and I had a 50-50 shot and it didn't work, but it was still cool to be able to have that kind of option. And then I had to go and kill him after that, but that's besides the point. um, and then I think there's another mission a little bit later on where you can try to stealth into this warehouse and try to get like, whatever it is that you're trying to get, or you can like drug the guards and then get your way in that way too. Like you talk to them, give them a drink, and then they get knocked out, and then you get do whatever you have to do. So again, that was kind of cool to be able to have that kind of choice in the game. So um, that was kind of neat. What about you?
Speaking of choice,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that the choices are a little bit more complex and complicated
Hmm.
than very black and white. So, like, a guy is like, well, this guy is practicing this religion out here and it's against our religion. And so we want you to go deal with him. And it's
Hmm.
like, well, he's not actually breaking the law. So,
Yeah.
like, do I want to go and help this character because they're high ranking and we have this kind of idea of we're supposed to help this person, right?
Yeah.
Or can you be like, nah, I don't really think I want to get involved here because this is, I'm
Yeah.
not going to go around and bust people up for no reason.
Right. I mean, and there's the politics of the world that you actually get right into the thick of it. which is pretty cool. Because like, yeah, as soon as you do something for one person, you potentially have a negative effect with another faction. So it's like that, those kind of choices that you make throughout the game, that you're like, oh crap, like, was that the right move for me later on? And then I don't know, who knows? Maybe it does affect you later on when you like meet someone from that other side. Like, I remember you, or you did this, so we're not helping you, or whatever it is. So pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's a little hard to say, only having played an hour, but
Right,
it
right,
definitely feels like that sort of stuff is being set up here at the beginning
right.
of the game. So,
Absolutely.
um, not too soon probably to see if it pays off, but
Yeah.
good to feel like it's being laid down at least at the beginning.
Right. Absolutely.
I did want to point out one other cool thing that I thought was neat is that it had, the world's pretty big, just even the
Mm-hmm.
starting area, and the game respects your time to some degree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, while you're exploring the city for the first time and you're going to places you haven't been, you have to go there, right? You have to
Yep.
walk, you have to go and find the places. But then if you're on a quest and the quest is like, okay, I've talked to this person, and now I have to go back and talk to this person I've already talked to, the game's like, hey, do you want to just go right back to that person? And you can just
Wait,
hit,
what?
yeah.
I
You
didn't know you could do that.
mm-hmm. It did it for me for The Alchemist. So
Oh.
like you track down this alchemist, he's practicing magic that's questionable. Um Once you've kind of completed that story question and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now you've got to like turn this guy in. The game gave me a pop-up and said, "All right, this is done. Do you want to report back to this individual, fast travel to them to let them know that
Oh.
this is done? Or do you want to stay right here?" And then presumably you walk back on your own time. And I
Oh.
opted to fast travel because I was like, yeah, I want to cash in this quest right now.
That's pretty cool. I didn't because there was one opportunity where I had to, I think I was working with the coin army or whatever it was, and I felt like I was going back and forth to that guy. I didn't, maybe I must have missed the pop-up or something like that for it to allow me to fast travel back. So, oh, that's
Yeah,
pretty
it
cool.
was like a prompt that showed up and it said, would you like
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
do you want to go to who gave you this quest and check it off, or do you want to stay
Yeah.
here? And it just,
Yeah.
popped me right to the in front of the guy. I had the conversation and quest complete, checked off.
Nice. I also want to say that I thought that, well, first of all, I thought the companion was actually really useful. Like
Yeah.
they really helped during a fight. Like they weren't just standing hanging out in the back. Like, because I was playing the mage or the magic character, I had to be ranged, and this guy just went full tilt on everyone. And I was like, awesome. And I was like just bombing away while he was doing all that stuff. And it was pretty cool. Um, and he comments like there's a constant little bit of a conversation that happens with him throughout at least throughout my playtime. Like he'll comment like when we're taking a quest, he's like, oh, I don't know about this guy. Like
Yeah.
he says stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. Like, again, to your point, like the world, the characters start to like feel more like you're in the situation, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah. I think it
Uh,
did a very good job of like grabbing you and pulling you into the world.
yeah. Anything else you want to bring up before we go to our?
Nothing too exciting. I did like the music. I thought
Mhm.
the opening theme was pretty catchy and was like epic. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
It's very true, very true. It does have a tactical pause menu. I want to mention that too. So you can kind of like, sometimes as fights go on, you're
Hmm.
just like, whoa, what's going? Like you can get overwhelmed pretty
Oh yeah,
quickly.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So be able to pause and kind of like assess the situation is pretty cool. I'll mention that too. But we got to talk about what we didn't like. So what did you not like, Tom?
Okay, well, straight out of the gate, don't do this ever. If you're designing a game, I hate you for it. The game was trying to sell me add-ons before I started the game.
Oh wow,
Like from the menu system, before I even hit start, select, whatever,
that's
it's
right.
like, oh, you
On
want to
on
buy
the
this stuff? I'm like, no, I don't. I haven't even started the game.
yeah, Yeah, spiders. How about you hide that until after we finish the first part of the campaign? All right.
Yeah, yeah. Wait till I've, I need the horse armor to try to sell me the horse armor.
Right, right. I need a horse first. How about
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Come on.
I'm gonna echo what you wrote here in your dislikes. The lip syncing was definitely off, and that was
Uh,
definitely weird.
it was
Like the
bad.
voice acting wasn't bad.
No.
They were all pretty good. It was just when you're trying to match the voice to the
Nope.
face, it was
Nope.
like not happening,
It
not
was
happening at all.
eh, I don't even think
I
they were
just
lip syncing a foreign language. It's like,
maybe they're speaking in spider language.
maybe they're speaking in French.
Ooh,
I did not consider that until just this moment.
spiders speak French? Is that what?
Apparently, this studio does.
Dang. All right. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Um, and I wasn't a fan of like the way that the player models looked also.
Yeah.
Like I thought the world looked decent enough. The effects were pretty cool.
Mhm.
Animations were pretty good too, but it was just like something about everyone looked just pretty like off. Something off. Like
I
when you first saw your mom, I was like, "Oh my god, what happened to this lady?" It was
I mean, I think that's kind of the
I
point.
mean, that was the point. But then, like, it kept happening with everyone else. Like, what is happening here?
It's the
Why is
plague. Everybody's got plague.
everyone just is hideous? Like, good gracious! But
Uh,
yeah,
see, if you thought the world looked good, I know where those 10 gigs went because
yeah.
everything kind of looked kind of gross and muddy on the Xbox
Oh,
One. It was not a
oh,
good looking game on the Xbox
hmm.
One. So
Yeah, it
I'm
looks
thinking
fine for me. Yeah.
you got 10 gigs of textures I didn't get.
That's probably fair. That's probably fair. Um, what else was there? I mean, kind of harping back to what I thought, I didn't realize again that you had this option of like this like intelligent fast travel.
Hmm.
But I did a lot of backtracking, and that frustrates me so much, especially when you like when the world is like just full of alleyways and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're just like okay, and then looking at the map wasn't always super intuitive on like how to get to a certain place. They did a pretty good job though with all the markers and how you can mark things.
Yeah.
And I thought the compass at the top was fine too. Like it got you to where you needed to go for the most part.
Yeah. That's what
Um,
I was definitely relying on was that
yeah,
compass more than anything.
yeah. Um, and I want to say that the conversation system, while it was pretty good, I thought that it was just kind of weird. Like maybe I'm just so used to like the point and click adventure games, stuff like that, where um, a lot of times the important pieces of information are like bold or like it's more called out. Like I feel like the game wants you to go through every conversation thread. Like for example, I don't know if you got to the part where you had to find the boy in the ship.
No.
Oh wow. Maybe it's like totally different tracks. That's interesting. I had to go find a boy in a ship and like I had to go talk to two people. I only picked like one conversation thread from each of the people and it didn't continue the plot or it didn't continue the mission. I was like, what's going on? So I went back and like talked, like went through every conversation and then it progressed. Like, so I was trying to like game the system just to like give me the highlights and then
Yeah.
move
Next
on. But
next plot point, please.
right. But I mean, at the same time, I will say I appreciate the fact that you can skip a lot of things. Like, you know, that was good, especially trying to not watch the lip syncing or not lip syncing. Um, yeah. Anything else you want to bring up there with the
Um,
dislikes?
so navigating the menu system for me,
Mm,
at least on the controller, it felt very clunky,
yeah.
and it was very challenging for me to get where I wanted to go. Um,
Okay.
like, let's say I wanted to change the equipment on my party member,
Yeah.
and it's like two columns of equipment, and I'm trying to get to like his right column of equipment.
Huh.
It doesn't like
Yeah.
going down a bunch doesn't just go down, 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 and then you start on the other side. That didn't work. and then if I went left, it just switched characters. I was like,
Oh.
no, I don't. I want to
Mm.
go to his other set of things. I don't want to go back to my main character.
Yeah,
It was a little frustrating, and
I didn't even bother with that. But I totally agree with you. Um, I felt like The Witcher. I don't know if you play The Witcher, but The Witcher did a pretty good job of um, managing that. Where first of all, I thought they're. I mean, I agree with you. The UI for the menu like wasn't that great, but then like I eventually played the game on the controller just to see how it was because it's third person. I was like, all right, let me play it on controller, see how it goes. Um, so when you hit the menu button, like you hold it down, that takes you to the map, right? Um, but then like one thing that I think The Witcher did pretty well is like if you just tap the button, it takes you to like the objectives, like the missions, and that's what I was like always trying to get to, and like I felt like I had to like hold down the map button, then switch over to where the missions were. So it just felt like you said like just very clunky to get to where I wanted to get to, and that would have been nice if it was you know a little more streamlined.
yeah.
But so be it. Um, any other thoughts there, Tom?
Um, so for me, I felt like the kind of game. It was the kind of game where I can play an hour and got nothing done. Or at least like there's a lot of side quests, so it's very easy to get distracted. And so like the primary objective for me was get to that boat, right? Like get off this. Didn't happen. I played an
Right,
hour, didn't get to the boat. So, but this is something that happens to me all the time with these style of games. So it's
right.
probably me more than it is the game. Um, but I like games that are a little bit more railroady. Like, give me
Hmm.
choices, but like not too many choices. I want the illusion of choice, like
Sure.
everybody does.
um, yeah. So I thought that well, according to how long to beat, this game is about if you just do the main story and like some of the extras, it's about 40 hours of gameplay.
Okay.
So it's a fairly meaty campaign. And I thought when we first saw this game, I think you had the same idea. I thought this was like an MMO of some sort
Yeah, I thought we'd
where
be
you
able
could
to play
play with.
this together.
Yeah. But and it feels like that kind of like game, or like feels like it would be a world that you could see yourself playing with other people. So it was kind of a shame that it wasn't that, but um, and I felt like it was a mix of Witcher and Mass Effect
Yeah,
in a way.
I could see
The
that.
way that you had a party person, but then like with the Witcher style combat, whatever it was. I mean, I haven't really played that much Mass Effect, but like from what I've seen, I think the conversation system is more Witcher style than it is Mass Effect. Um, but yeah, and I didn't see anything in terms of there's any sort of cross saves and stuff like that between PC and Xbox. So that's kind of an issue too, I would think, because then I'm kind of bound to one particular,
Yeah.
you know, console or game system. I know it's a first world problem, I guess, but but it's like, it's on Game Pass. Let me have cross saves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um
I get it.
yeah. So are we keeping this game, Tom? Are we staying? Are we getting on this on this ship, or we're letting it go?
So for me, like that hour that I spent with it went by really quickly, which is always a good sign, right?
Yeah.
If I lose track of time, you're doing something right
Right.
as a game designer. And I was compelled to save the game before shutting it off, right? Where it's
Hmm.
sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes it's like I just want to get out of here. I don't care anymore. And sometimes I'm like, I I think I'll come back to this. Let me save this, right? And I did have that kind of feeling. But knowing that it's a 40-hour game, knowing my own proclivities and the way that I am, I have a feeling that I will not go back to this. So while I've made all the efforts on my side in anticipation of returning to it, I
Right.
have a feeling that I won't. I think I know myself well enough that it's just not it's good, it's
Yeah.
not great,
Yeah.
and like So you're right. The whole point of this show is that we don't have a whole
Sure.
lot of time. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. Like I definitely got lost in the side missions, and like they were pretty interesting side missions.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
they were good. So that my time also did go by very quickly, and some of the story elements are definitely interesting and had some twists and turns that I was surprised and I enjoyed. Um, and like you, I felt like I had to save my progress just to see if I was gonna keep going, and I think I might play more. I
Okay.
mean, I don't think I like. I don't think I will try to complete the game. It just like the 40 hours does seem daunting to me. But there was enough there for me to be like, okay, I think I like this enough to keep it going, just to see like if there's something that happened, like something happens where like I get stuck on some fight, I'll be like I'm out, and then I'll probably uninstall the game out of frustration. But so be it. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D or shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, send us a comment down below and we promise to read and respond to each and every one of you. Scout's honor. 1H1D is part of the QTB network, and if you also enjoy movies and TV, then you've got to watch. Bruno takes you on a journey through the greatest shows and film of our time, with guest hosts Nick and Brad weighing in as well. And check them out at quitthebuild.com/gotta watch. It's good stuff. They did a whole thing about not another teen movie, I think, and the Cornetto films and all that fun stuff too. So yeah. So do we have to find out what we're playing next?
We do not, because we already know.
We do. You're right. We do know. This is a request from a friend of the show, Vin. He has been bugging me. See what I did there?
I do.
Bugging me to play Bug Snacks, and that's what we're going to be playing. We're going to be playing Bug Snacks.
So it was formerly a PlayStation exclusive, but is now on the Xbox Game Pass.
It is on the Xbox Game Pass. So that's our next game, and that's it for this episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.